3, 2, 1.
The Great Christmas Light Fight is on! Ho, ho, ho!
Oh, you scared me. I didn't see you. I was a little busy. I've been wondering why I have a feather duster. Well, if you remember, last week I had to go to New Jersey and see this guy called Earl, and they kicked me out of the library so they can do some construction because we're adding content. We're adding more things for you to enjoy, for you to learn, for you to find fun facts. So I'm glad to say they're back. It was a little dusty, so hence the feather duster. But enough of that. Since we got company, I'm really excited to have you. I'm Brian Michael. I'm your Great Light Fight librarian, and welcome to the Librarian, where we are your resource for everything related to the Great Christmas Light Fight. Now, I've been talking about this red car thing for the last 2 weeks almost, and I'm really excited about it. Before I get to that, I do have to say, I really appreciate what the contractors did to add more space to the library. You know, I did add books, more information. We're into the yellow book. I probably should use the red book to document the red car episode. But hey, I appreciate what they did. They even made me a little gift. I thought you might like it. Check this out. They're pretty good contractors, pretty good carpenters. But officially the librarian is in. And when I'm not here, the librarian is out. So I'm going to put this back here on my shelf, because the librarian is officially in. And I'm really excited because we are ready to start one of the coolest episodes I think you're ever going to see related to something about the Great Christmas Light Fight. And that's an episode about red cars. You like red cars? So do I. So let me live up to my promise. Here we go. Introducing the red car. Actually, it's a truck. And it's just a joke, as you might know. I do have a really red car episode, and I'm going to start that up here. So if you're ready, let's start talking about the red car. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff here today. So before we get started on the red car, let's see if there's any comments hanging out there. Oh, a couple of you have joined in. And remember, as we're going along, type in comments. I'll answer them in between breaks, and I'll do my best to make sure we address you. But I want to thank Stephen from the Wonderful World of Christmas Lights. Stephen, I know you've been around for a while, and I appreciate you supporting the channel and advertising it. Anybody else out there? Leave your comments, because you're going to want to comment on everything you see today. So I'll check in later, but let's get back and talk about the red car. So I had a wonderful, wonderful experience to not only be on the Great Christmas Light Fight and win, but actually reconnect with the owners of the red car that delivered our Light Fight trophy. And that doesn't happen very often. I will talk about later some folks I do know that it happened to. But for now, let's just talk about our experience and the owners of our red car. So I sat down with Frank Proteruti and his daughter, Gina Fusca, and we talked about the red car in detail. I got a lot of cool videos. I think you're going to like them. And I think we should start it off and introduce the car itself. So, you know, I met Earl last week. Now I'm meeting this guy called the GOAT. I was like, what the heck is the GOAT? The greatest of all time. So if you think of greatest of all time, a lot of things come to mind, especially in the sports world. You think about football, Tom Brady's name has been thrown up there. You think about basketball, Michael Jordan, and now LeBron James, people are saying, is potentially a GOAT, the greatest of all time. Soccer, Pele comes up. NASCAR racing, Dale Earnhardt. But what about cars? Me personally, I'm a Ford guy. But I love a lot of muscle cars, especially the stuff from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And so does the light fight. And that's what we're going to talk about. And I'm going to introduce you to the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Let's check this video out. Let me cue it up. And again, get your comments in and we'll check in a moment. And I think you're going to like this. Introducing the GOAT.
I'm the GOAT. I'm the GOAT. I'm the GOAT. I'm the GOAT, greatest of all time. GOAT. I'm the GOAT. I'm the GOAT. I'm the GOAT, greatest of all time. I'm the GOAT. I'm the GOAT. I'm the GOAT, greatest of all time. GOAT. I'm the GOAT. I'm the GOAT. I'm the GOAT, greatest of all time.
Tell me that is not one beautiful car, one that should deserve the title of the GOAT, the greatest of all time. So I did a little research. It's a Pontiac GTO in 1968. And although it is opinionated on what is the greatest of all time car, depending on your preference, the GOAT does have a great reputation. It was totally redesigned in 1968. It was the first year for that body style. They defined it as a Coke design body. It had its first redesigned bumper, which instead of being chrome like most cars of the era, it was called the Endura body front and blended in with the color of the car. It also had the vacuum pop-up headlights in this model, and it boasted 400 cubic inches of power in the engine, making it really appealing for those that were into a mid-sized car with a lot of power. It appealed to young people, and even better, in my opinion, the cherry bright red color, which is perfect for the Christmas light fight. And that's why it was on the show. So if you got anything you want to know about the GOAT itself, the car, start putting comments in. But Frank's going to talk to us in a minute. But before we get to Frank talking to us about his car, let's check in on the comments. All right. And give me a second here. All right. We have Patrick Mock joining us. Here's a fun fact. Patrick Mock is not only a friend now, he was on Great Christmas Light Fight last year. And if you follow his Christmas page, the Mock Family Christmas display, he's working on a new Santa sleigh. And it just happens to be a super bright red truck. You heard me right, truck. I joked with him that maybe you'll be on Light Fight with the truck. And he said, well, they only like muscle cars. Hey, there's always a first. Patrick, thanks for joining. And I'm glad you're here. Aaron Leach, thank you for joining again. I know you're a fan of the library, and hopefully you're enjoying your membership card. Thanks for joining. Monty Small, thank you for coming on. And I agree, it is a very nice car. And Frank's daughter Gina is actually going to, that's a quote she's going to use later. And I think, see if you can find it when I show that video. All right, we got Monty asking another question. Do they always select the car owner near the winner's home? We're going to cover that. Remember, the library is about asking questions, debunking myths, and sharing facts. So we will cover that. All right, I got Devin in the house. Devin, thank you for joining. I know I owe you some response back on the video you sent me, and I apologize. But once you see this episode, I've been really knee-deep in the library archives putting something together. So I will get to that, I promise. Hey, we got the Slankards. They're saying hi to Patrick, but they didn't say hi to me. Did I miss that? Come on. By the way, congrats to Robert and Lori. They live in the city, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. And if you're a basketball fan, which I am, again, I'm from Philadelphia, but I lived in Oklahoma City for almost 10 years. And congratulations to the Oklahoma City Thunder on their NBA championship. We got to go to the finals in 2013, my son and I, when they were there, when Kevin Durant and Brian Westbrook were there, and they almost moved on, but not time. But congrats, enjoy that. Well, we got a lot of people chiming in here. Chuck Jones, here's a local guy. He likes Mustangs. Again, I'm a Ford guy too, but the GTO is pretty best. Thanks for that. Who else? Let me see if I'm missing anybody. Man, we're really getting the comments coming in here. It's hard to keep track of it. I'm going to learn this one day. Eric Schulis. Love the podcast. I really appreciate you joining in. So awesome. Hey, if you have any comments or questions as we go along, please feel free to ask. Please ask as we go. I will do my best to answer them. And if I don't answer them through the broadcast, I'll answer them afterwards. So please be sure to ask those comments. All right. Now, I want to go to part 2. We met the car. Now we need to meet the car owner. And I'm real excited for this next video. I think you're going to like it. You're going to meet Frank Carter. Really wonderful gentleman. We've become friends over the last 2.5 years. I've met his family. I've gone to some other events where they're at. So I want to have Frank come on up here and talk a little bit about his little GTO. So let me cue up this video. And again, if you have questions, type them in as we go. So let me get that thing going here.
My name's Frank Carter. The car's a 1968 Pontiac GTO. It's all original. The VIN numbers match, the transmission matches, the carburetor match, everything matches. Very nice running car. 400 cubic inch. Originally it was 350 horsepower, but we've done some work at the engine. We've replaced the camshaft in it. The carburetor is still the original carburetor. The radiator is still the original radiator in the car. The hoses are all numbers matching. It's Turbo 400. It has a shift kit in the transmission. It has Flowmaster mufflers on it. I had the exhaust system custom made. I just like having everything original. It's as original as I can possibly make this car. All the panels of the trunk are all original. There's no rust throughout the whole car, interior or exterior. It's all original jacks. So I just like keeping everything, nice and as original as I can possibly keep it. I'm originally from Philadelphia, and I worked at Rio Brothers Auto Repair in the Germantown area of Philadelphia. I worked there as a young teenager, and now what I do is I sell quarter midget parts throughout the whole country.
How about that? Tell me that is not one sweet ride, and Frank knows his vehicle. And just trust me, I could eat off of his carburetor cleaner if he would let me. It's that immaculate. This car is beautiful. It's original. It sounds amazing in person, and it definitely films well, and it's my favorite color. So what do you think about Frank's car and the specs in the car? Let's check in on some comments, see if we have any more new comments, and then we'll move on to the next part. So, Gina Fusca, great addition to the creative episodes. You're going to meet Gina here shortly. Matter of fact, she's going to be the next video. Gina is the daughter of Frank and really helps out a lot with the car. So, Gina, thank you for joining. I hope you're liking the videos. Just like when we were filmed on Light Fight and had to wait a year, we didn't get to see any of the footage, how it turned out. So I'm hoping you're liking how it's turning out. And I really do appreciate that you guys came out and let me record it all for you. So enjoy. Who else do we got? Oh, here's one of the GOATs, greatest of all times. My wife, Kimberly Michael. She is definitely the best wife ever, supporting this hobby, my light hobby, and so forth. But I agree. I miss the Cougar. So I had a red car. I had a 1967 Mercury Cougar with a 289 in it. Matter of fact, how about this? I was looking in the library archives and I found some show and tell. Let's take a look real quick before we get back to a GTO. But yeah, here's my red car. Let me clear it up there. There you go. Look at that. And just like the GTO, it had the hideaway headlights. It had the sequential turn signals, had a black vinyl roof, black interior, and man, I missed that car. But thank you, hon, for reminding me about that. What else do we got here? Anybody else? The comments are just coming in, and I'm getting lost in them. Let's see. Oh, I don't recognize this name, but I'm glad to have Eddie LeBlanc. Welcome to the library. Make sure you stay behind, fill out a membership card, watch more episodes. There's 3 of them out there, plus there's a bunch of other videos on my Librarian YouTube channel, so make sure you check it out and find the links. All right. Who else do we have here? Oh, Ryan. Welcome back. Really appreciate you coming back into the library again. I hope you like it. Oh, a little more dust right here. Cleaning it up just for you. All right. Oh, Aaron Grimes. You're not late. The good thing about the Librarian is you can watch it later on YouTube over and over and over. Just like I watch Light Fight over and over and over. Enjoy it. You're going to go back and find things that you never saw before. I'm going to show some of those today when we talk more about red cars. Some things you might not have caught or didn't know. So let's check it out. All right. And Patrick Mock. Yep, beautiful car. I agree. Chuck chiming in again. Loves the details of the car. Frank puts a lot of passion into his car, and it's really cool. If it's ever in a car show around here, since you're local, Chuck, you need to go check it out in person. All right, let's get back to the next phase and let's learn. One of the things that people always ask is, where do they find the red cars? Is it the same car in Santa Claus that drives the car? Is it the director that drives the car or the production assistant? It's not. That's the really cool thing about Light Fight. So when they are putting their season together and then they group the families into 4, they actually, and there's 24 families, except for this upcoming season, which does change and moves to 15 families. They go out proactively. They have a production staff assistant who searches car databases and other resources online, car clubs, and they find a car in every city where there's a contender, just in case that person wins. That way they can turn it around quick. Now, there's some nuances with that. They usually never see these cars in person. They have to get information about the cars. That's where they have to reach out to the car owners and see if they're even interested. Then there's weather they'll play. We're going to talk about weather in a little bit. I don't know about you. I have friends with beautiful old cars. They do not bring them out in the rain, even if it's the biggest car show of the season. So there's a lot of myths about the car, but the reality is they do find a car in every city for every contender in case that family is fortunate enough to win. And it's a quick turnaround. And just like contenders on the episode, there's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of non-disclosure agreements. They have to hold the secret for a year, just like us, if you're the winner. So with no further ado, I want to introduce you to Gina, who's going to tell you about how ABC found their car for our episode of Light Fight. So let me cue that up. And then again, if you have comments or questions, put them in. I'll also say, I'm here for you. I got you answered. So with no further ado, let me get back to the assets here. And let's go with the next video, which is how the Light Fight and ABC found Frank's 1968 Pontiac GTO. Let's take it off here and go to Gina telling us all about it. So here we go.
And I run fundraisers for a local high school, and I was running a fundraiser for a car show, and I posted a flyer with a picture of this car on the front of the flyer, and someone called me and left a message and said that we're a production assistant from ABC. And I didn't call them back right away. They were persistent. They continued to call and text me. And then I finally reached out to them to find out exactly what they wanted. And they told me that they saw my flyer online and wanted to know if I knew where to find this car. I said, I know exactly where to find that car. He said, well, I can't tell you the specifics, but I need to find that car because I need it for a reality TV show. I said, well, tell me a little bit more. And he says, well, I can't tell you the name of the show. I can tell you that it has to do with Christmas. And I can tell you that it's on ABC. So then I was able to put 2 and 2 together. And I said, okay, tell me more about this. So he said that they needed the car for the show to deliver the winning trophy to the family. But there's one catch. The driver has to dress as Santa. And so he says, who owns the car? I said, my dad owns it. I said, but I know he'll dress as Santa. I called my dad and I started telling him about the contact. And his exact words were, I said, however, there's one other thing. I said, you have to dress as Santa.
I thought it was very funny. I was definitely on board with it 100% because I thought it would be a very nice opportunity to do that.
The car was having the headliner in the interior replaced at that moment. And we had 2 days to get the car back together and at the location. We started getting all the paperwork from ABC, all of the non-disclosures and everything, so we're signing everything, getting it right back as soon as possible. In the meantime, in the background, we're getting a hold of the company that had the car to do the repairs to the headliner and the interior, because ABC said, we need pictures of this so we know that the host is getting in and out of a nice car. And I said, I assure you, it is a nice car. So the next morning, we went up to the repair shop, and the poor guy, I felt bad for him because he had a ton of cars in the shop. And the GTO was like kind of buried, like it wasn't his first project. He was like, when I get to it and get these out of the way, I'll get to this one.
What you talking about, Willis?
So the guy uncovered the car and I said, listen, I just put the panels in and I need to take some pictures. That's all I need to do. I don't care if the speakers aren't in, just set them in and they don't have to work. Point, my dad says to me in front of the guy, he goes, Gina, he goes, just let them know this isn't going to work. I said, oh no, this is going to work. The guy was very diligent. He was wonderful to work with, and he got everything put back together within 24 hours. He brought in his brother to help him do it. So we got the car together, we got it back, got ABC their pictures, they were good to go. Then they let us know that the car was actually going to be used in 2 episodes.
What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about, Willis? We're going to talk about 2 episodes in a minute, but before we do that, thank you, Gina, for sharing that story. It's a really cool story. It helps debunk some myths about where the car comes from and who drives the car and how it arrives in the city and so forth. And really, really do think it was a cool story. And I love your persistence, especially for your father, on making sure the car was ready with literally 2 days notice. The car was in the shop, getting its headliner replaced to make it even more perfect. By the way, Frank shared with me, it was like a little rip, like near the front. You couldn't even see it, but I get it. And so cool, so cool. Now we're going to talk about Twice. But before I get to that, let's just make sure there's no new comments or anything. So let's get in here to these comments and see if anybody else had anything to say. The Slankards, I agree. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful car. And it got to go to what I think is a pretty beautiful Christmas light display. All right, what else do we got? John Chase. He loves the car too. Hey, John, thanks for joining you. I don't recall seeing your name before. Hopefully you're brand new to the library. Check out the other episodes. Really, really appreciate it. Patrick's chiming back in. I sure wish there was a way to know what red car they had lined up for us should he had won. That would be an interesting story. Maybe one day. The librarian has not been able to figure that out yet. So a couple things with respect to that, Patrick. I did start, as you know, I'm a curator of statistics, facts, and all about everything light fight from season 1 all the way up to the current season and already for the new seasons. One of the things I tried to do, and it's very difficult, is document the car that delivered in every episode. And the reason that's difficult, sometimes they don't show the badge or the type of car. And some of the cars, if you're not a car person, it's a little harder to identify. So I did some tracking down. And the one thing I will say, Light Fight loves GTOs of all years. There's been a lot of red GTOs. So check it out. There's also been a lot of Camaros, some Mustangs, Chevy Malibu, Chevelles, and then some older cars and things of that nature. And then the other thing I found, and I think it was maybe twice, instead of the bright cherry red car, they had more of a burgundy car, which didn't appeal as well to me, but it's still pretty cool and it was different. So they do really try to stay with the red car. All right. Are there anything else here? The Slankers were wondering the same thing. Who won the car? Tough to say unless they reached out somehow through a car show. It's hard to tell. All right. The next thing we're going to move to is twice. If you saw at the end of that video, it said twice. And are you interested in that and what that might be? Well, I think you are. So if you're not familiar, that 1968 Pontiac GTO was actually on 2 episodes of season 11 of The Great Christmas Light Fight. And I didn't even recognize this when I was watching it. The first episode was the heavyweights episode, which aired like 2 or 3 episodes before us. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to show you how they did that and why they did that. But I'll also add, it's not the first time cars have been used in multiple episodes, and I'll have some feedback on that in a few minutes. But, I really do think it's cool that Frank's family got this extra opportunity for his beautiful car to be showcased out on national TV. So he should be really proud of that. And they do share a story, him and Gina, about how they did that. So let's listen to Frank and Gina talk about why the car was used twice and how it happened to them and how they learned about it. So let me cue up the video. And again, if you have comments, feel free to get them in there and I'll try to answer them. So let's move on. Let's see what this is all about. Twice on Light Fight. Here we go.
Car that the Light Fight was actually going to use for the episode in Georgia, it rained when they were filming, so they weren't able to use that car. So they asked if they could use our car for that episode. So they simulated here the same night we filmed for you. Tanya came out of the car with an umbrella, the whole 9 yards, but there wasn't a speck of rain in the sky for that episode. Filmed the GTO coming from the opposite direction, so it totally looked different.
than ever before. All 4 displays were absolute knockouts, but only one can be crowned the heavyweight champion. Thanks for the ride, Santa. Merry Christmas.
Tis the season for holiday cheer, and the winning family is finally clear. I love them all, but one really blew me away, and they're about to get a Christmas surprise. Okay, hit it, Santa. Merry Christmas.
How about that? 2 beautiful scenes, 2 beautiful opportunities, 1 beautiful car. 1968 Pontiac GTO, the GOAT. So, what did you think? Did you notice any of the differences? If you look, it's pretty consistent. The overheads were a little bit different. They didn't use, I believe, with the headlights. So it's just very subtle, but the average viewer doesn't even notice it. And like I said, I never even noticed it when I was watching season 11 heavyweights. That's probably because we didn't see the footage and you just don't put 2 and 2 together. So really, really cool opportunity. And I mentioned this before, it's not the first time it's happened. So I like to throw in other things from Light Fight in the past. And I've got a good friend named Ricky Cloutier who was on season 10 of the Great Christmas Light Fight. He has a big pixel show down in Florida. And he did an interview shortly after his episode in 2022 on a channel like this. It was for Pixel Pro Displays, which does sequencing for, the animated displays. And he corroborates my story about the cars being used more than once. So I'm going to share a clip of that interview that he did just because I thought it was interesting. So again, before I do that, please comment, please subscribe if you're liking this, hit the subscribe button, and be sure to share and invite more people to the library. So let's check out what Ricky had to say about the cars and being twice. It kind of corroborates my story. So check this out.
What was cool though was when they came back. We had actually put the lift in the shop, so my car was actually in there. And so we got to hang out in the shop with Carter, looking at the car, and actually the guy who was Santa and had the old car, we met him through, there's a car club down here that we're part of. It's like the Dixie, and he's like the, I don't know, he's like the president or something. Anyways, so it was kind of cool because we met him through that, and we see him like monthly at the car meets, and like neither one of us can tell anybody that he was Santa or that his car was in the show. They have a registry of red cars and people in areas that they pull from. Like ours was a 55 Ford convertible with black roof, and then you got like it was a 67 Camaro for Tanya's. And then it was a 57 Chevy for Castles. Mm-hmm. Okay, here's my question for everybody watching. The winner. Does everyone get a different episode before us the week before? If you actually watch the winner of Carter's episode before us the week before, when he steps out of the car and drives away, you see my shop. If you watch the week before and you watch Tanya's, when the guy in Nevada won, if you actually watched the car when it pulled up and you looked at the reflections in the car, you saw David Castle's house in it. So we figured out David Castle won the week before because his house reflection was in the car. They did completely different setups. I mean, like Carter had to change into what he wore there. They changed the location. of where the car drove. So it's really cool the magic they do with that stuff. But if you're actually looking and no one caught it, most people don't catch it. But yeah, you can go back and follow the cars. So it's really cool, the stuff they do with the cars. It's and that's like their favorite thing. They love doing the car stuff. That's like, I mean, they spend like hours recording car stuff. It's so cool.
So I'm not making this stuff up. Things happen. They have to deal with. Weather is the main reason that a car can't make it. In the case of the Botanical Gardens at 1 Hour Heavyweight episode, they couldn't get a car there because it was pouring. Matter of fact, it poured a lot for the filming of season 11, which occurred in 2022. Yeah, because we heard in 23. So I understand it. I get it. And Gina and Frank shared with me when they had our side, if you missed it in there, they just flip things around. I have a selfie with me and Tanya, and I couldn't figure out why she had an umbrella. I totally forgot because it did, when we started filming our original reveal night, we did have umbrellas, and then it stopped raining because we were in the middle of the remnants of a hurricane, Hurricane Nicole. So things happen. I've also heard that in some states, maybe Nevada, maybe California, sometimes they have to pull permits, maybe for the filming or for the car. I'm not quite sure on that one, so I don't want to go too deep in that, but there are reasons that the cars get used in multiple episodes. So really cool. So other families have had that same opportunity, and I hope they enjoyed it as much as I know Frank and Gina and his family did. So let's check in on the comments. We're doing well here. We're almost 3/4 through the show. I still got a couple more cool videos to show. I got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. Let's see if there's any new comments that's come in. Let's see. Eric Smith. They should use Frank's GTO for every season. Santa would own a GTO, and Frank's is the cleanest 68 out there. Hey, that's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. I like it, but kind of like the Christmas displays, it is nice that other families and other people that enjoy their cars get to show them on national TV. So great idea, and probably won't happen unless they do go back to that myth that Light Fight owns the car and hires the Santas and sends them out there. So, but I like your idea. That's kind of fun. All right. I want to get back to the next section of importance here. And it's not just about the car. It's about the person that drives the car. In this case, Mr. Frank, and the duties he has. So really, really fun. Not only do you get to drive a car, a cool red car, Santa's sleigh, you get to be Santa on national TV, and they make you look super jolly. So I think that's really cool. And Frank really embraced it. I want to show you a video where Gina and Frank talk a little bit about not only driving the car, but performing the duties of Santa Claus in the best effort possible that you're accustomed to in Light Fight. Things like honking the horn, turning on the headlights, dropping off the judge so they don't trip, pulling away in style, all kinds of cool stuff, decorating the car. Hey, you might not get to put up the big display, but get to decorate the car. So let's check it out. Let's see what Frank and Gina have to say about performing their Santa duties. Let me cue this up. And again, if you like what you're seeing, hit the subscribe button and send out some links, invite your friends to the library, let them check out the cool videos that are already in the archive, and more are to come. More are to come. I'm assuring you of that. All right. So no further ado, let's cue up performing Santa duties.
Did that is the headlight doors are vacuum operated, so to coordinate it that it opens at the proper time is extremely difficult. They would turn the lights on inside the car. They would reach in and turn it, and I would reach down and just snap my fingers, and we were trying to coordinate that everything happened at the same time. So I had to lean over like this and just snap my fingers, and hopefully the doors opened at the same time I snapped my fingers, which is very difficult, believe me. We did at least a half a dozen takes.
Take your hand out, and whatever's happening. Ready and go. Nice.
Another famous scene is that when Santa does his blink in the air, you do that.
Sure, I'd love to.
Look at the twinkle in your eye. So very fun. Anything else you want to say about when Tanya was in the vehicle? Did you have any conversations or while you were waiting or?
No, we didn't have much of a conversation because the directors kept us pretty busy as far as driving the car up and down the road and her getting in and out of the car with the trophy, you know, that she wouldn't stumble.
I liked when Tanya was getting out of the car because we were there on the however many takes it took to get her out of the car without stumbling because she was trying to get out of the back seat. She's little, and that back seat is probably littler.
In the beginning, she was sitting in the back seat, but she was having difficulty hitting the lever over here. And so they changed everything for her to sit in the front seat. So it was difficult because of her size and holding the trophy to get in and out of the car. So then what we did is we had her sit in the front, and it worked out very well. It really did. Absolutely right. I don't want to scratch paint. They supplied the wreath, and the way it's attached is it's in the engine compartment. And what we did is we attached it in here off of this bracket, and so we attached it there that it would hang over, and the way it could be filmed. Pulled up with the car. One of the people from Great Christmas Light Fight, they came over and put it was a cardboard license plate that they put on. All right, and so I was hoping that I'd be able to keep it, but they took it took it back at the end of the show. Over and honked the horn like that. So I just reached over and
Action, Tanya.
Okay, hit it, Santa. Merry Christmas.
Let's do one more. Let's do one more. What did the director say to you about your Santa Claus impersonation?
what he actually said to me is to do ho ho ho, and he told me, he says you're doing it with a Philly accent, and that's what he told me.
Except for my kid being born. It's the greatest night in the history of my life. Yo, Adrian! I did it!
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas.
How about that? Ho, ho, ho. What a Philly accent. I love it, Frank. It is such an awesome story. You're actually going to see it again later when I talk about reunions and finales. But what a really cool story. I had to put a little Philly flair on it. I hope you like the Rocky bang, bang, bang reference in there. And got to support the local area. Hey, speaking of supporting the local area, the library is expanding. We don't just have facts, statistics, books. We now got board games. Board games, yes. Check this out. Not only do we have board games, They're local board games. So, Hatfieldopoly. How about that? This is where we live, Hatfield, PA, if you watch our episode. And my daughter contributed this to the library. I think that's pretty darn cool. The only mistake they made, let's see if you can notice it, just like I have something for you to check out later to see if you can find a mistake that Light Fight made, is the car. They should have made it red, and they should have made it a GTO, right, Frank? Who doesn't agree with that? However, really cool, and really cool that it's my town where you live in. All right, so you got to see a little bit of fun things there about what it was like to have the Santa duties, and I think Frank got to live a pretty cool dream, even, he probably didn't even know he wanted this dream. So thank you again, Frank, and you're an awesome Santa. I hope you're dressing up to be Santa Claus this year. Tip, at least around here, there's no good mall, so you're going to have to set up somewhere, maybe outside in your car. So let's do that. I'll be there. I'll help you decorate now that you showed me how to do it. All right, let's check in on some comments. There has to be comments after seeing a video like that. Let's see what we have. Let's see if I can find anything. I'm getting a family member supporting us. This is my sister-in-law, Kim's twin sister. So cool to see behind the scenes footage. And kind of along those lines, we were a closed set during COVID, so not many people got to see what happened, not only on our reveal night, but on the night we won. So a fun story about kind of like that before I go on is, after you award your trophy, they kind of do that first because they don't want to risk you seeing the car. And then they actually film the car stuff after the family wins the trophy. That's how I was able to get a lot of this behind the scenes pictures and footage. I got to watch them do that. So it was really cool. I was respectful and limited it. I was also nervous, like, oh, can I take a picture of this? Am I allowed to take a picture of this? And they absolutely let you. If you're ever going to be on Light Fight, take time to document, take some pictures, take selfies, get to know the crew. Just follow your guidelines when you sign your non-disclosure agreement, not to post something accidentally. It has happened. It has happened. Even crew members have posted stuff. Perfect example, in season 8, Tony Bigda, the Bigda family, they were down in Florida and they did a kind of a Disney display with pixels. After their episode, before their episode aired, one of the crew posted a picture on Facebook, and it was clearly evident that his house was in the background. So be careful. All right. Speaking of crew, we're going to talk about them next, but let me check on these comments again. Thanks, Kelly, for chiming in. Oh, Gina does chime in. She says they trailer that car for a fee. Maybe I could drive it. Frank's going to talk about the trophy later and him taking that, but I did not get to drive the car. I wonder if that's in the future. Think about it, Frank. We're buddies now. I got somebody joining me today, a new friend, Matthew Eccles. Thank you for joining and kind of chiming in and promoting everything out in the industry. I'm going to see Matthew, Kim, and I. Yeah, that's right. We're going to a Christmas mini at sea. That's right. We're going on a cruise where there's going to be little group breakouts while we're going in between destinations about Christmas lights. How cool is that? Now, some of you might say, well, I'm on vacation. I even need a vacation from Christmas lights. Well, I don't. I think it's going to be fun. And it's going to be real fun because we are going to Alaska. And that's what we're going to talk about. So, Matthew, I look forward to meeting in person soon. And it's going to be a nice group. A lot of people who have like-minded inspirations and dreams about Christmas lights and promoting Christmas lights and doing all that. So thank you for joining. What's Gina have here? You can't get any more Philly than Rocky. True. Cheesesteaks are close. All right. Moving on. We talked about those duties and the crew helped direct Frank on what to do. He shared that with us. That's one thing about being on Light Fight. If you're ever on, they're going to make it easy for you. They're going to help direct you. You might be a little nervous, especially if you're not used to being in front of a camera or presenting in public. Just be yourself. They will guide you, direct you, and make it easy and make you look good. All right. So speaking of the crew, they do become family. You miss them when they're gone. And if you're lucky, you do get to run into them in other places. So I've been fortunate enough to meet some of the casting directors after the fact. I've met the executive producers, Brady and Felicia, after the fact. I got to hang out, and so did Kim, with Judge Taniya Nayak earlier this year. So going to minis is a great thing, whether they're at sea or on land. Find one locally. And then you can talk about the crew you had. So let's check out the crew. Gina and Frank got to meet the crew, and people are always asking, what is the crew like? Are they nice to you? Are they hard to work with? I think you're going to find they're awesome. So let's watch this little quick video to see what Frank and Gina said about the Great Christmas Light Fight crew. And Felicia, Brady, Max, executive producers, I think you'll love how people feel about the people you hire and send out to their homes. Check this out.
It was very well organized. That was the big thing for having so many people in such a small spot. Everybody had a role. We had one girl that came to us right away. She was ready to go do a Dunkin' Donuts run. Then they were taking orders for dinner. They treated us like kings and queens around here, which was phenomenal for just pulling us off the internet, so to speak. So it was awesome.
The filming was fantastic. The people were all fantastic, and they directed me at what I needed to do, the whole time.
What do you like and what do you don't like? I was just saying it was nice and a little more brief, but not too much. And lights on. Got it. And lights off. And lights on. And high beams. And low beams.
We were here for 6 hours. So what's really cool about being on set for that amount of time, we're able to video different scenes. So we have all those takes and retakes and all of the stuff that didn't go to print. And we just checked with the production assistants that were on set and said, is this okay to post? So as long as it didn't have anything around and it was literally just the car and with Santa in it, that was it. But we checked with them; they were cool with it, but it was really a cool experience. But it's a long process, especially that time of the year. It's kind of cold. But they were cool to work with. They were so down to earth and so entertaining. A lot of behind the scenes stuff that you just don't think about.
So yeah, it was just a fun time. It really
She was awesome. She's so professional. She was so friendly. People were running around taking pictures with her, and she was so accommodating. Sometimes when you encounter people that are on TV, they get a little no, I don't want to take a picture. We did selfies with her. She did a selfie with my dad in the car that I think she actually instigated.
Oh, she was sitting in the back seat of the car. She reached over the back seat, and all of a sudden she puts her arm around me, which I was totally surprised. And she took a couple pictures of the two of us.
We actually shared the pictures with her on her Instagram.
really cool. I think they enjoyed hanging out with the crew. It was cool seeing some of those behind the scenes stuff. I was fortunate enough over the last 2 years, both Frank and Gene and their families shared a lot of the video footage that they got that I didn't get there. There might even be more. It's just cool stuff to have. And again, you just had to be careful when you were being filmed at the time of what you could and couldn't put on TV, so you didn't risk jeopardizing things, because they had to keep stuff secret for a whole year too. So that was really interesting. Kind of along those lines, a little fun fact. So I was talking about they give the trophy to the winner first, and then they go and film all the car stuff. And Gina's not kidding. They were there for about 6 hours, and probably 4 or more of it was the car. First was the delivery of the trophy to the family. Go back and watch our episode, season 11, episode 6 on Disney Plus. You'll be able to watch it. But it's so funny. I was out there watching them film the car and stuff, and for a little bit, the car was sitting down past the display to kind of hide it, I guess. And a neighbor comes walking up, and I'm down there by the car, and he stops and he goes, "That's really a fine looking piece of muscle there." And I was like, "Yeah, that's really, really sweet." Now, remember, we were on a closed set, so the guy didn't put 2 and 2 together. Maybe he didn't watch Light Fight, but I thought it was kind of cool that it didn't leak out afterwards before our episode. So really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. Speaking of cool stuff, check this out. If you're interested, Librarian stickers. Yes, Librarian stickers that you can put on your laptop, your Yeti. You can take it on vacation with you and stick it somewhere. Good, I hope. Let me know if you want some. I bought them to take to the minis and give out, and I was going to use them at the Christmas Expo in Dallas in a couple of weeks. But as many of you know that might be watching this, it was canceled. So maybe next time. But I will be at the Ohio Mini later in July, and I'll bring some of these along. So you folks in Ohio might get one of these bad boys. Who doesn't want this mug on a mug? Check it out. All right. We're getting close. We're getting close, folks. Thanks for hanging in there. Let's see if we have any new comments. I'm not sure if we do or don't, because I still haven't figured out how to know if you read a comment already on this software. Maybe I need to go take a class. Let's see. It's looking like we're caught up on many of these. If you do have any comments, please add them. Please add them. Hang in there. I still got a couple more cool things to share, and we're going to move on. So we talked about their experience with the crew. I think it was really fun. Now I think what we want to talk about is, random thoughts and facts. So there were some things as I put these videos together, they kind of themed, but then there was some miscellaneous stuff that I didn't want to get lost. So one of the things about Light Fight that many people that have been on the show really talk about behind the scenes is they want all the outtakes, the bloopers, the extra footage, and ABC, not necessarily Light Fight, but ABC just really hasn't come up with a format to release those. Their answer is they do the All-Stars episodes every 5 years, hoping to be on that when season 15 concludes and they start season 16. But that's really just a recap of the videos that they shorten down. It's not behind the scenes stuff. There is talks, or there has been talks of hopefully maybe they can bring something to streaming. I don't know if it'll ever happen. So that's what this is. I don't want to lose this footage. I thought it was some fun information. So let me just share some random fun facts and pieces of information that Frank and Gina share with me. Let's check it out.
Oh, that's a tough question to answer. I really hate to do that. You know, if it was a downpour, a torrential downpour, I doubt whether I'd bring it out. But if it was just a very light rain, I would definitely consider it. Yes.
Right away. Right away. Right when they contacted us, we knew, because there's not that many houses around here that do lights to that extreme that would even be worthy of entering that kind of contest. So we knew. We kind of put 2 and 2 together. And when the production assistant told me, like, it's really close to your house, I knew.
know the name. You just knew from living around the area.
Exactly.
And just to confirm with people, we've never met
No.
before.
No, never
No.
met you at all.
This was the connection. Really cool that we were finally able to connect with you, and like now you know who else knows, because you have to keep it quiet for a year. And you're not allowed to say anything. And so it was cool to finally deliver the trophy and just to see your family and how excited they were and the surprise. And it was just really a beautiful thing. I just think it's an awesome thing. It was awesome for him at his age to finally get a car like this. I mean, this car was a car that he wanted when he was 16 years old, and my grandmother wouldn't co-sign on the loan. So that's really the front end of the story of how this car even came about. So, you know, fast forward 60 plus years, and here we are with this car, and it's like everything is happening with it and all these connections. Not only does he, you know, promote that he was on the Great Christmas Light Fight and he delivered the trophy, because he's proud of it. He's proud of what he did to contribute to your efforts of all of your work with the lights, and you know, the community and how they enjoyed seeing the lights and seeing the car at the grand finale was even huge. So it has created a lot of bonds. I had so many of them. There was actually a light bar inside the car that reflected up, so that you could have a better view of Santa. And you know, the clip that they show with him starting the car and you know, shifting the gear shift to put the car in drive. I mean, that was all captured using the light bar. And then they had like a crane camera that was in the middle of the street that showed the top of the car driving. He had a GoPro attached to the car, which was kind of interesting because you don't put anything on this car. But that was huge. They lost a few of them in the filming because somebody ran over them, but it was kind of cool. It was neat. The car is actually in a database. So if they ever have another participant in the Great Christmas Light Fight in the area, they'll actually reach out to us to use the car. Yes, I actually watched it every episode for years. And I always enjoyed seeing all of the creativity with all of the people that spend so much time putting this stuff together for, you know, the enjoyment of their community.
Honestly, I've never watched the Great Christmas Light Fight before. But
You serious, Clark?
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
You're killing me, Smalls.
No soup for you.
Don't nobody understand the words that are coming out of your mouth.
after appearing here at the show, I watch quite a bit of it anymore.
It's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
Yours, of course. I know the cast of characters on this one, so that's awesome.
You're a goddamn genius. That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted.
Frank, I can't give you a trophy. I wish I could. I can't give you a license plate. I don't have one, but I know a place where I can get one. But I would like to make you an honorary member of the Great Christmas Light Fight Hat Club, because you've earned it, and I really, really appreciate what you've done for our family and for the support of the Great Christmas Light Fight. Why don't you try that on?
It's perfect.
How could we leave that kind of footage out? Just imagine all the footage from all the histories of Light Fight that's still sitting out there in an archive that you can't see. But I hope you found some of that fun. It was really great to spend that time for a couple hours with Frank and Gina in the driveway and have a little bit of fun with the trophy and the car and just sharing our stories about how being on the show has positively impacted both of our families and other members of the community. So I hope you enjoyed that. I have another fun fact, it's kind of related, and I didn't want to skip it, but there is mistakes made on set. Sometimes they have to retake stuff. 99% of it is reality, but there's stuff they have to retake, like some of the car stuff. You saw Frank and how hard it was to time the vacuum system on his car when they were popping the headlights and Tanya getting out of the car. So I had one fun fact I'll share. Mistakes do happen, though, even after all this work to record stuff. So check out this real small clip. It's not related to our episode. It's from last year, season 12, and see if you can catch the mistake that the production editing team made after the fact. So check this out and see what you think. How about that? A fun little one from last year. And just like when I watched season 11 and saw the heavyweights episode, I didn't see Frank's car in that. I was watching this one live and I didn't see this either. And ironically, while I was watching it, I got a message from a season 1 contender, Mr. Michael Simmons, who was on season 1 of Light Fight. He goes, "Did you just see that?" And I said, "See what?" So he sent me a video clip. I played it back. I'm like, I don't see it. It took about 4 responses back and forth till we figured it out. Now, on the flip side, I showed it to my wife, Kim. She goes, "Yeah, one's roof is white and one's a red hardtop." By the way, I don't even know if they were both Mustangs. Who would have known? Anyway, I hope you thought that was fun, but things do happen. Most of the average people don't view it. And I don't know. It's just fun to share this stuff. All right. I keep saying it. We are getting close. But what I want to talk about is how we became friends with Frank and Gina's family. And a lot of it is like reunions and grand finales. So a couple different things happen. So I'm going to show you a video in a second. It's about 5 minutes long, but it combines 2 different things that happened. So the first part, I'm going to take them out of order. The first one is in 2024, I guess it was. Maybe I got the date wrong. I go to a car show at a local school near us. We'll walk around the grounds. It was called Caffeine and Chrome. You might have saw that flyer when Gina talked before. And I ran into Frank, Gina, Frank's wife, Gina's husband, and other family members at a car show. And not only did I run into them and take some pictures, because I do document everything if I can, I got to see some things I didn't expect to see, where Frank was showing off how proud he was about being on Light Fight. And then prior to that, we aired in 2022. I'm sorry, we filmed in 2022. We aired in 2023. And when I found out through some connections who owned the car, because they were tied to some of the local youth baseball, I was able to find out the name and reached out to Frank and Gina. I had this idea to have a grand finale night to shut down our display for the year after we had just won the trophy. And they brought out the car. We did all kinds of cool stuff. So I just want to show you a recap of that. And let's check out this video. And then there'll be one more video that shows reunions and grand finales.
Bought a new Santa suit, one that he could have. He dressed up We came over, it was amazing. We met your family and he got pictures with the trophy. We had the car parked in the driveway, which was amazing because the lights from the display reflected off of the shiny paint. He posed for pictures with all the children.
Everyone was extremely friendly, and the kids all enjoyed to have their picture taken.
In some cases, I'm kind of standing out in the background, like, this isn't about me, and he's like handing me cameras from random people. Here, Gina, take a picture, get in the picture. And he was encouraging the parents to get into the picture with the car.
I encouraged the parents to have their picture taken with all of us too.
Random people were coming through and just saying, can I take a picture with the car? Can I sit in the car? The community was awesome. And I think it really was, it was even better because it was like, I'm standing here with the car and the house that was on national TV, which is rare. You don't have that combination after the fact. It totally reenacted the night that you guys filmed. It was an amazing night. It was truly a grand finale.
Thank you so much for delivering this, Santa. It's appreciated. Can we hear that famous ho ho ho?
With a Philly accent.
Yeah, with a Philly accent. How about that? That was really cool. And if you do want to see the full version of our grand finale, I do have it posted on my YouTube channel. Check it out, subscribe, and enjoy the video. So, and I do have one more video, and I got to queue it up. Let me load that up and get it ready. But while I'm loading it up, if you have questions, final comments, because after I play this video, I won't be back. I'm going to hit the end of the stream and it'll play our outro. But you can come in afterwards and I will check in on them throughout the day or night. But let me load things up here and really talk about a few things. So it was really cool to see what it was like to come back to the house. I'm not kidding you. We had hundreds, thousands of people's, not hundreds of thousands, hundreds, maybe thousands of people that came out that night to see the red car. And it was a really, really fun night. It was a special night. It's one we won't forget. It's one we hope that Frank and his family does not forget. So really cool. Check out that video. So while my other video, my final video, which is about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, let me just check in on the final comments and then close things down here. And this is going exactly like I thought. I thought it would take about hour 15, hour and a half, and we're right on time. So comments. There it is, the goat of wives, Miss Kimberly Michael. We love Frank and Gina, and we do. You're such great people, and we really, really do enjoy being able to put this together for you, this archive of your experience, so that you can go back and check this out and see it later. I hope you like the videos of the car. I think they turned out so cool, especially just filming them with my iPhone. So amazing. I tried my best editing. I worked very hard on this, and I hope you like them. But I agree, Kim. We love them. Aaron, thank you for chiming in. Great episode. Really appreciate you tuning in. I hope you do get your dream to come true to be on Light Fight. You know, along those lines, again, apply at lightfightcasting.com if you want to be on the show with your Christmas display. Again, www.lightfightcasting.com. It's a 5-minute application process. They are getting close to closing summer casting. It started in May, and it probably goes until mid-July or so. So try to get in there last minute. That's what we did when we applied the year that we made it. Kim kept saying, hey, why don't you try to get on this show? And in July of 22, the very, very last week of casting, I submitted an application. And at the time, the application, it took an hour because they wanted everything in advance. They don't do that anymore. It's a 5-minute data collection and some videos. And we got on the show. We got on the show, and we got to meet Frank and Gina. We got to get a really cool trophy. We got to meet a lot of great people, and I really got to learn a lot about the Great Christmas Light Fight and start up this other fun hobby here, the Librarian. So let's tune it up here. I think I got a couple more questions, maybe. Nope, it looks like we're good here. So I'm going to play this video. I'm going to apologize in advance if it bumbles down because of my internet connection. We made it all the way through until that last video, and it was so clean. But I'm going to play this, and it's just some final thoughts and a conclusion to close it up. It's some final thoughts from Frank and Gina about being on a Light Fight and sharing their red car with us, the community, and the world. And before I go, again, I want to thank you, Frank. Thank you, Gina. Thank your family for all that you've done. And I really hope you guys have a great summer. Take the car out, even though it's rained 13 of the last 15 weeks here in the Philadelphia region. I know a dry spell's coming. Get that car out to the car shows. Take it to your Sunday breakfast like you told me you do with your wife, Frank, and enjoy it. So no further ado, I'm going to play this final video. And before I do, watch it all. The Librarian's going to be out after this. Replay it, and I'll follow up soon after that mini at sea with what our next episode might entail. And there's going to be more content for the archives. And I hope it's something that you could use, or maybe it's something about you. So check this out, and I'll see you next time.
It's shiny. It's really cool to see it, and especially when it lights up, it's just an amazing thing.
I actually think I should be able to take it home. I know you wouldn't mind, would you?
So Frank, even though they don't give one to the driver, you are an honorary member of the Light Fight Trophy Club. I'd like to let you hold this again.
Hold it momentarily, I guess.
Just don't drop it.
Don't drop it, and you won't let me take it home.
I just want to say, Frank, Gina, I really appreciate you coming out and doing this with me today. This has never been done to my knowledge with anybody who has driven the car in the Light Fight, and I think it's going to be really interesting to learn how, one, how it happens, how somebody who doesn't do the Christmas display can actually live their dream out in another way and help everybody else out in the community, and how you might be able to be a driver on the Great Christmas Light Fight. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Gina. We really appreciate it. And thanks for listening to us. And please come back and watch another episode of The Librarian.
Definitely. Looking forward to it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.